Hey friend, there's something most men never fully understand until they've been hurt, betrayed, or watched someone they trusted transform completely. And here it is. Women live in a world that doesn't truly exist. Not because they're cruel, not because they're foolish, but because their perception of reality isn't guided by logic or facts. It's guided by emotion and imagination. They don't see the world as it is. They see it as they believe it should be. And this emotional filter distorts everything. It reshapes the truth. If you don't grasp this, your life will be spent confused, manipulated, and emotionally drained by women who don't even know what they want themselves. When a woman tells you she loves you, she truly feels it at that moment. But if her emotions change a week later, she can leave without a second thought. Because in her world, reality flows, bends, and is sculpted by feelings. When she asks, "But what about what you said?" she'll look at you like you're crazy. She doesn't live in your world of facts and loyalty. She lives in her emotional universe. And in that universe, Tuesday's truth can become Thursday's betrayal without fault, because she wasn't lying. She just felt differently. Many men are stunned when a woman ignores them, cheats, or suddenly ends a relationship that seemed perfect. Her actions always make sense to her, justified by her feelings. If she feels ignored, even when you're busy, it's betrayal. If she feels unattractive, even yesterday's compliment is meaningless. You can explain, show proof, remind her of reality, but it won't matter, because in her world, reality is how she feels. Trying to apply logic to emotion is like shouting math at a hurricane. You witness how they fall in love, confront, and act with intensity. She builds castles in her mind before even knowing your last name, and you think it's real. But what you see isn't love. It's an emotional reflection. She's not in love with you. She's in love with a story, an image, a possibility. And when reality emerges, when you're the flawed human instead of her fantasy, disappointment begins. The nurturing, passionate woman you thought was real, she never truly existed. She was a creation of her imagination. That's why women say things that logically make no sense. I want a strong man who shows emotions. I want a provider who doesn't care about money. I want a leader who lets me lead too. Contradictory? Logically, yes. Emotionally, it's valid. She isn't seeking consistency. She's chasing a feeling, a surge of emotion. And the moment that feeling fades, her story changes. Needs shift. Expectations shift. Not because she calculated, but because her reality constantly shifts. Social media makes this fantasy world more dangerous. Women are bombarded with images of perfect lives, perfect couples, perfect men. Instead of appreciating the real man in front of them, they compare him to fantasies, filters, 10-second clips, and unreal stories. Anything less than perfection is failure. If you don't message like a poet, appear like a billionaire, or love like a rom-com character, you're not enough. And she's unaware she's doing this. It feels real, valid. Modern culture reinforces it. Your feelings are always right. If it feels real, it must be true. So she stops questioning impulses, stops seeking reality, lives in her emotional echo chamber. Any man who challenges this is labeled controlling, toxic, insecure. But in truth, the only grounded one is you. That's why women hop from relationship to relationship. They've never truly been wrong. The man was wrong. Circumstances were wrong. The ex didn't make her feel secure. The new one might. But give it time, and the cycle repeats. Because the issue isn't him, it's her constructed world. Love must feel effortless. Emotions never fade. Discomfort signals danger. And when reality knocks, The illusion can't withstand the weight, and she flees. You can't fix it, save it, or pull her from a world she doesn't even know she's in. What you can do is protect yourself. Stop believing her fantasies. Stop trusting words over actions. Stop proving yourself to someone who rewrites the rules. Stand in reality, your feet grounded. Lead with consistency and truth. If she follows, great. If not, don't chase. A man faithful to reality never seeks friendship in a dream world. No one warns you that the more solid your foundation, the more she will test you. In her world, power is alluring and threatening. She will poke, provoke, create chaos just to see if you collapse. If you break, you lose respect. If you stay calm, she either levels up or leaves. Both outcomes are wins. The rare woman eventually realizes her fantasy cannot give her what she truly needs: stability, leadership, reality. On that day, she will notice the unwavering man. The deeper truth: a woman's emotional world is not something you can enter and exit by logic. It doesn't follow rules. It's guided by instincts, impulses, and intuition. She contradicts herself without noticing, blames you for the chaos she created, and you will be swept by the storm unless you have a solid framework. You'll question your judgments, feel insane for trusting your instincts. Many men today are emotionally exhausted, confused, defeated. They love women not as they are, but as they could be. They cling to memories of how they made them feel, ignoring who they are now. They crave emotional highs, fear the lows. But if she lives in a world where feelings dictate loyalty, fantasy negates effort, and reality is whatever she wants, you're not in a relationship. You're trapped in a dream that becomes a nightmare when performance fades. You must understand, her world is not your responsibility. Her emotional hires are not your problem. Her confusion, impulsivity, fairy tale expectations, you don't fix that. Your job is to remain grounded, lead with vision, act with clarity. If she meets you there, perfect. If not, let her dwell in illusions. You didn't build this life to play a background character in someone else's fantasy. You are reality. She either joins or exits. This is why a man must construct his world before letting a woman in, based on truth, standards, values. A world unmoved by moods, a world with stability. And when she enters, you watch not only her words, her patterns, her happy moments, but how she handles challenges: peace, chaos, growth, distraction, reality, or illusion. She can't rearrange your life to fit her fantasy. And even if she lives in illusions, she still wants you real, grounded. She wants consistency. She rides unpredictability. That's your power and your burden. If you aren't solid in who you are, her mere presence will unbalance you. That's why so many modern relationships are unstable. Men react, women emotionally lead. But lasting, rare relationships are led by men who stay grounded, allow her emotions, but never let her chaos dictate their reality. Most women don't want to leave their fantasy worlds, yet they don't know how. They've been fed lies from birth. Every feeling must be honored, love must be exalted. Effortless, discomfort, oppression. They constantly seek magic, sparks, signs from the universe, but they're never taught. Love is a discipline. Stability is strength. A boring but stable man outweighs 1,000 charismatic manipulators. Until they learn this, they chase shadows, leaving real men behind. The irony: when she tires of her fantasy, awakens from illusion, she will look for a man like you. Not because she suddenly values you, but because reality forced her to. But by then, you will be gone. You will have transcended games, built a life that doesn't depend on approval, affection, or drama. When she realizes she passed up someone real, it will hit differently. She won't mourn you. She'll mourn the life she could have had but wasn't ready to accept. The strongest men I know don't make noise, don't chase, don't suffer. They're simply done. They accept reality. You cannot build with someone living in a dream, mistaking it for love. That's why these men now build with themselves, or women who face illusions but humble themselves. Either way, they no longer lose sleep over misunderstandings. They choose peace over potential. So, if you've felt crazy trying to understand a woman who changes daily, you were sane. She was lost in fantasy. You were moving in reality. If you proved your value and were still left, understand, you were never in her real world. You were a character in her emotional movie, and the script changed. Now you see clearly. You know better. You won't return to a role you didn't choose. You won't be a temporary hero while she chases endless fireworks. You've gained clarity. Hold on to it. Women live in worlds that don't exist. That's fine. Let them. But as a man, you must stand firmly. Move in reality. Build in reality. This world rewards discipline, vision, clarity, not imagination. When you stay true, you stop trying to convince them to see things as they are. You find peace, power, and maybe, just maybe, a woman tired of illusions and ready to live in your reality will find you. A world where love is real, loyalty proven, and truth isn't just spoken, but lived.